Jesus Christ on the false light matrix. Now, who am I to speak in the name of the Lord? Just a quick biography to put things in perspective as to where I'm coming from with these teachings is many years ago, I believe it was in 2016, I was 35 years old and I was diagnosed with post-traumatic stress disorder. And one of the big symptoms that I had that led me to seek even a diagnosis in the first place was emotional numbness. I could not feel my emotions at all whatsoever. And in a way, it was great because I wouldn't feel the stress and the anxiety. I guess it was actually a protection from feeling all of the stress and the anxiety. So my emotional vessel completely shut down. But then I could not experience joy or happiness or things like that either. And it was very, very strange to me. So upon receiving this diagnosis, I wanted to try to heal myself in a holistic way. And I remember sitting down one evening and I'm like thinking about Jesus Christ. Like, what did he knew that made him love everybody? Like, I mean, everybody. Like, there had to be some kind of mental landscape surrounding this. So I was like, Jesus, I would love to know. I called him in. The next day, I kid you not, I was driving home from work and the last church, I was an hour out of town. So the last church before I hit home, there was one of those like billboard outside that they can put like messages, and it was written, "Follow me, Jesus." So did I go to church the next day? No. In fact, another symptoms of post-traumatic stress disorder is hypervigilance. And because of everything that was surrounding the stories surrounding the church at the time in religious groups and some evil stuff that happened under the name, I just really was, nah, I just couldn't do it. And I was even questioning the Bible because Jesus Christ did not write the Bible. It was all people around him, surrounding him, way before him. That's the teachings you find in the Bible. So to me, at that point, the human mind can corrupt, can filter, can distort things. And I was like, I can't really delve into this. So I was like, I can find out and communicate with Jesus Christ on my own. And this is what I did. And I know for some of you that may be a bit turned off, like oh no, 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 no. Like you probably think I am the false light. And that is good. I'm not here to argue about religion. I feel like everyone has free will to decide for themselves what is spiritual to them, how they want to go about it, what brings peace to them. That's totally up to you. I'm not here to argue with that. The reason I'm sharing is years down the road, following these teachings, it had helped me tremendously as far as healing from my symptoms from post-traumatic stress disorder, to a point that now I can feel what's in my heart fully. And also the teachings that I'm about to share had a huge impact into my capacity to feel love for everybody. And if it helped me, it may help somebody else. And that's why I want to share these teachings with you. So if you're still watching, thank you. My name is Isabelle and welcome to the download. So what is the false light matrix according to Jesus Christ? Duality, especially when we talk of the dark and the light forces, this illusion of separation between the two is what actually entraps us into a false light matrix. Now, if we start engaging into identities such as I am a light worker and I am here to cast the evil out of this world, to fight with evil. Like when there's an energy of fighting from a place of the light against an evil force, like they're two different groups, that is the false light matrix. And more mind-blowing is, according to Jesus, when we identify as a light worker who's here to cast away evil, it's easy to think that perhaps as a light, we are more high vibrational than the darkness. But according to Jesus, that is not true. When we operate from a place of separation, we are actually vibrating at the exact same frequency as the darkness that we're trying to cast out. Because again, it's just two sides of the same coin. It's just the polarity. A different polarity does not equate a different or higher frequency. So how do we step out of this zone? First, and I guess, what is the real light? The real light does not fight. The real light just is. The real light doesn't have identities, purposes, action. Like real light is just pure, embodied, unconditional, universal love flowing through our heart space. That is the real light. And if you're not feeling this unconditional love for all that there is, despite the times that we're living in, there's room for improvement. And here's a good analogy that I found useful to understand this concept, especially how we can apply them in our day-to-day life to really start melting away this sharp contrast and integrating this light and these dark forces together. Imagine a farmer and he has a beautiful field full of apple trees. And then comes time to harvest and he put all of these apples in a bag. But some of these apples were rotten and they rotted the whole bag. So he lost a portion of his crops. So next year he does better at discerning which apples are good, which ones are like probably going to be problematic, and he's more successful at it. And over time, sometimes he has good crop, but sometimes the weather is not that great. Some years there's a great demand for his apples, he's get a good price, other years not so much. In all of the cases, you wouldn't say that the apple is evil. You wouldn't say that the temperature is evil. You wouldn't say that the market is evil or the supply and demand. You would just accept that this comes with the territory of being a farmer. You're not going to have 100% of the time. Sometimes there's going to be fluctuation and you're going to be learning to roll with the seasons, and hopefully calmly. We are 8 billion of us right now sharing this planet. Chances are some people are going to have an effect that's perhaps not very pleasant, just like the apple rotting the bag. Certain people just kind of have that effect in their environment. You think people of positions of power who abuses, their powers, or even people who are mentally unwell, who go out and commit horrifying crimes. And I'm not justifying these things in a way that, hey, it makes it all okay. It's about how we go and feel about these things. To me, I'm at the approach right now that just accepting that people like that are a part of life. They happen, and the longer we spend time on earth, the more we engage with the world, eventually we're probably bound to interact with people who are not going to be pleasant, and they're not going to be fostering energies of love, safety, and all of these things. And do I need to label these people evil? No. I can walk away and put boundaries without actually over energetically charging this person with ideas and, again, separation. Because at the end of the day, again, Christ consciousness to me is there's a universal consciousness, and we varied in awareness of this consciousness. Therefore, what I do to you, I'm actually doing to myself. And even from a psychological perspective, apparently our subconscious doesn't know the difference when we're talking about ourselves and other people. So really, when we start labeling peoples as evil and as this and as that, the brain hears us talking about ourselves in this way. So that can bring disturbance in our vessels. So again, how do we reconcile all of these energies then? Because I know there's a lot going on in the world right now. Like, I don't live under the rock. I know there are people who are facing big repercussion for things that they've done that are completely off-putting. And I'm not saying these people should stay in society. If someone doesn't know how to play in society and they just start creating chaos and just like the rotten apple rotting the whole bag, well, the proper thing to do is to actually take these people away and isolate them, whether you want to call it jails or rehab center. If someone is not fit to live in society properly, then it has to be removed. But can we remove this person with still holding space and allowing ourselves to be in this free-flowing universal love throughout the whole process? Or are we going to spew hate on that person will affect our well-being dramatically? So how to do that? It may seem inconceivable. Like I'm with you there. Like how can you even think of these people and feel love into your heart? Here's another way to see it, and I guess if you develop the ability to feel this universal love in your heart 24/7 at all times, and then you find yourself being taken out of the experience, it may see like it may sense the signal that, oh, this person robbed me of my happiness. This person interferes somehow with my ability to experience all of this love. When the reality of it is we self-abandon our frequency. We allowed ourselves to be taken out of that experience. And if we were to become strong in that space and really practice staying in our own place of love, universal love, then it doesn't matter. It's almost like a muscle that you developed, that you can look at the person and say, hey, I love you. I can see what's going on, and I'm not riding the elevator with you. Like, no, it doesn't mean that we become dumb. It doesn't mean that we are subjecting ourselves to chaos and destructive energies. It doesn't mean that we don't pay attention to what's going on around us. It's just we can do so while remaining into this energy of pure bliss. And that is doable. That is a practice. And just like a practice, the more we do it, the easier it becomes. And I'm here to tell you that after years of working with Jesus, I'm at the place now that despite my symptoms of post-traumatic stress disorder, I was able to get to that place. And I no longer have any symptoms. I feel love and bliss, I'd say 90% of the time. And I know that other 10%, it's just me choosing to take myself out. And again, I'm not condoning what's happening in the world. I'm just choosing to still observe it, looking at it, without allowing myself to compromise and taking on this poisonous energy. I don't allow it to contaminate this beautiful vessel, this divinity that we're all born with and we're all capable of experiencing in our everyday life every second. So this is what I had for you today. If you have any questions, please do so in the comments. I'm sending you much love. My name is Isabelle, and enjoy the rest of your day.